Hello gang, welcome back to another video. I'm happy that spring's around the corner. Sparkling water and lemon season is back. And with that said, I wanted to today dive into Pi Network. Most of you at this point have probably seen them, and you're probably wondering, how the hell did a project that I've never heard of, and nobody that I know has ever heard of, just come out of nowhere and step into the 11th spot on CoinMarketCap with a, what are we at? 11, almost $12 billion market cap currently. Now, the funny thing is, they launched maybe less than a month ago, and I wrote about them in my book about 7 months ago. Why? Because I could see what they were doing and I could see how well it was working. And so I wanted to break it down for you today because I don't necessarily think there's a lot to learn in terms of like many different things they did right. I think they did one or two things really, really well. And that seemed to have worked because the Grok, the old Grok AI is telling me that they have 60 million users. Obviously, once again, $12 billion market cap, 60 million users, even if they're off by 10 million, that's still quite good. And so what did Pi Network do that you could learn from? In a nutshell, there's three things that I believe they did that led to these results. Number one, they went after the reason why so many people in crypto haven't heard about them is because they went after an unaware audience or a problem aware audience. You've heard me talk about market awareness levels. So awareness levels is a concept from Eugene Schwartz that you can take any target audience and you can break them down into unaware, problem aware, solution aware, product aware, and most aware. And the unaware is the largest audience and the most aware is the smallest audience. So what's happening in crypto a lot is that most of the projects are focused on the audience that is most aware and maybe product aware. So these are the people that they know of your project and they also know of a bunch of competitors, right? This is competing for the breadcrumbs that are left over. And the much, 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 much larger audience is much more unaware about crypto. And so what happened with Pi Network was they went after a much larger, a much more unaware audience immediately. And that's why so many people in crypto never heard about them until they actually launched and came out of nowhere into the 11th spot. And that's also why I found out about the project like maybe, yeah, like 8, 9 months ago from somebody who's not very deep into crypto. Because he they targeted those kinds of people first, and they essentially had an application. We all know by now probably those clicker games on Telegram. Now they didn't have a Telegram app, but they had a a mobile app that essentially worked like that, that every 24 hours you could log in, I think, click a button, and you were mining Pi tokens. The other thing that they did, so they had big audience, um this kind of clicker game thing going, and they had a referral program essentially that I don't have the exact specifics, but what it does say here is from the white paper draft details that mining rewards are based on contributions, including security circle bonuses. So 20% per active member, max 100% for 5 members. So, you're clicking the button every day. You're essentially earning an airdrop. If you have 5 people that are active, you're doubling the rewards that you're getting. And on top of that, so that one, the security circle seems to have, you can have 5 people. It's going to give you a 2x essentially on your rewards, and it's maxed out at 5 members. And then on top of that, there's a 25% addition per active referral with presumably no limit. And I don't know if the receiving end of the referral link, so the person who's accepting the referral link and signing up, is also incentivized to do so, as opposed to just going and downloading the app and signing up without a referral link. That is something you want to bake into your referral program as well if you have one. Now, it doesn't stop here, because as you know, we have talked about intrinsic value and perceived value a lot, right? So when you're dealing with airdrops and there's a token that is trading live, you now have a direct value that you can assign to a token, and you can start to do this math of like, how much might my airdrop be, right? Because you know what the value is. The beauty with perceived value is that the sky's the limit, right? You don't have some exact value. You have just your imagination. It's like, oh, holy crap, this thing could go to $50, $100, $150. Like there's no end to your imagination, right? And I don't know if you have these absolute geniuses working at Pi Network or if this was just an unintended consequence. But what they did have was essentially a live token that was, you could speculate on the price of Pi when it was going to launch. So these were listed by exchanges as IOUs, and I think you could just openly trade them. And they were trading at 50 to, I've seen up to $300. I don't know if that's true, but I've seen with my own eyes that it was $50. So what was happening was people were clicking their little buttons in the application. They were seeing how much Pi they had. They were checking the chart and they were saying, oh, this times 50 equals I'm about to get rich. Let me double down and go refer more and more and more people. And mind you, again, that's on the low end, right? If it actually went up to 300 and they were seeing how many Pi coins they were going to get and they were doing it times 300 in their head, they were all walking around thinking they were going to get super duper duper rich off of this thing, which of course incentivized them and mobilized them to refer more people, because that was the fastest way essentially to, multiply your rewards. From my perspective, these are the main mechanisms behind the success of Pi Network. You can take from that what you want. And as we're on the topic, the core thing really, I think, was the referral program. And of course, these live trading IOUs that were used to anchor the airdrop. I think there's a chance that was sort of an unintended consequence, but that's been part of it too. And with that said, I think personally that referral programs are incredibly, incredibly impactful if done correctly. In my experience, referral programs are extremely binary. They either work incredibly well, such as the Pi Network case, or they don't work at all. And there's a couple of things that you want to keep in consideration when you're doing this, when you're doing a referral program. Number one, you've got to have great rewards. Not good. I stumbled. Not good rewards. You've got to have great rewards, right? What the referral program is hinging on is people taking time out of their day and going out there and figuring out how to get more people to sign up. They are not going to do that if they don't see massive potential upside. You have to have great rewards. Now, the beauty with tokens, if you're doing this, is once again, you're operating on perceived value. So if you can get people to believe that this thing is going to be worth $50 a coin, then there's a chance they will go out there and spend time recruiting people and so on and so forth. So you got to have great rewards. One thing that I mentioned already is if you've ever sent a referral link to somebody, to a friend, or had somebody send one to you, you've felt that awkward feeling of a friend sending something to the other person that benefits him or her, but not the other person. You're asking them a favor, or when they send it to you, they're asking you a favor. There's a very easy way to change this dynamic completely from, hey, let me ask you a favor, to, hey, let me do you a favor. And the way that you do this is you reward both sides of the equation. So if a successful referral occurs, you reward the person who made the referral, of course, but you also reward the person who clicked the link and signed up, because now they've gotten access to something that they couldn't on their own. Because there's usually always going to be the option of like, hey, let me just go into the app and sign up without a referral link on my own. And it also gets rid of this awkward feeling or the awkward tension of like asking for a favor from somebody that doesn't benefit them at all, to changing it to like, hey, by the way, if you sign up with my link, you're going to get access to XYZ, points, tokens, whatever, that if you just go sign up on your own, you're not going to get that, right? So those are two big things. And the third thing that I see a very, very common mistake, you have to essentially have, you don't have to have this, but it's going to completely dictate the success of your program. Ideally, you should have the rewards that you're giving to people should be coming from a renewable source. Meaning, if I have a referral program, let's say I sell something for $100 and you refer somebody that buys that $100 thing, the reward I give to the person should come from the $100 that I just gained, as opposed to, hey, we have an email opt-in. If you get somebody to sign up to our email opt-in, I'm going to take $10 out of my own pocket and give it to the person. Because now you're obviously not going to have an unlimited source of rewards because you're pulling it out of your own pocket. So whatever budget you decide on for that is eventually going to run out. It's typically going to run out much faster than people think. And then it's like the whole referral program is finished. So you spent all this time building this referral program that's finished. And on the other hand, if they helped you get a $100 sale and you take $60 out of the 100 and give it to the person who referred them, you didn't take that out of your own pocket, right? You're taking it out of something that came as a thanks to them referring the new person. Now you have a completely renewable source of rewards that allows you to run the referral program indefinitely. And so those are some of the main things that you really want to think about when you're designing a referral program, because the mechanics are very important. Like I've reviewed so many referral programs in crypto, and they usually get like one of these things wrong, whether they've got a fixed budget or they screw up the incentive, like the incentives are not aligned. Like I saw one where it's like you had a fixed group of rewards, and every person that was invited was now going to take part of the reward. So by inviting somebody, you're shooting yourself in the foot, because now you have to distribute the fixed pool of rewards to more people. So there was this like consent completely like there was a incentive misalignment. So you have to think about all of these things if you want to make a referral program work. And that said, I believe referral programs is probably one of the most lethal tactics that you can use to get a crypto project off the ground. Take a look at Pi Network and you'll see how well it can work, right? So I'll leave you with that. Thanks for watching and have a good day.